What's going on YouTube? Your boy John Mango back again, repping Beyond the Iron. I wanted to make this video because after a few of my recent vlogs, a lot of you guys were asking about me making a video about how some of these days I'm able to lose weight after eating 4,000, sometimes even more than 4,000 calories a day. So I figured I'd take this opportunity to create this video to, one, explain exactly how I've been able to do this, but also I want to bring to light a lot of these false or these myths that people have about their metabolisms or metabolism in general, and the fact that a lot of people use metabolism as an excuse. Some people might say it's too fast, they can't gain weight. Others say it's too slow, they can't lose weight. So I figured I'm going to make this a two-part video. In the first part, I'm going to explain exactly what I've been doing, and it may surprise you, it likely will by the way, to be able to consume 4,000 plus calories and still lose weight in some cases. And then after that, I'm going to explain exactly how you can conquer and change your metabolism regardless of which side of the fence you're on, alright? So before I get started, I just want to let you know these are some of the new Beyond the Iron hats that I got in. Comment below if you are interested in getting yourself a Beyond the Iron snapback, because I've been getting some requests, but I want to see what the demand is like, and if enough people request to have some of these hats, then I will actually put them out to the public for sale so that you guys can grab your own. Right now they're just for private clients and members and whatnot. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. What I've been able to do, or how I've been able to get my metabolism or myself to this point. So one thing we got to keep in mind, just to pre-frame things, okay, for some context, what you may not realize if you haven't been following me for a while, or maybe you missed out on these episodes, at the end of my cut, which was about a 16-week period, which finished about 3 months ago today, I was not eating that many calories. I was eating somewhere in the ballpark of, between 23, 24, up to maybe 2,600 calories by the end of this cut, and that was for me to maintain a 204-pound body weight. I obviously weighed a lot less, and so I didn't eat as many calories, and I had been in a deficit for a long period of time, so I experienced a lot of metabolic suppression. And so when I started the reverse diet and I worked my way out of a deficit, my calories started bumping up. And if you haven't seen my reverse dieting videos, I suggest you check that out to see exactly how I go about it, and how that's one trick right off the bat that you can do to skyrocket your metabolism in a short period of time if you've been in a deficit. So coming out of the deficit, I methodically reverse diet so that I'm essentially bumping calories up almost on a daily, if not every other day basis, to where it keeps bumping up but my body weight doesn't necessarily change. And the reason for this is because coming out of a deficit, as I start increasing calories, I have more energy. When you have more energy, you gotta understand that you want to put that energy to good use, which is what I did. How did I do this? Well, in the gym intentionally, I was lifting more volume, more weight, more reps, more sets. I was able to do cardio at a more intense pace. But outside of that, something a lot of people don't realize is my activity throughout the day skyrocketed. Whereas at the end of my cut, I was very lethargic, didn't have much energy to do anything. It was a lot, I wouldn't be moving this much. If you look at my videos, I was not moving my hands so much and all this. I was really quite, my voice was a little lower, a little slower. These things actually make a difference. And on top of that, because of all this intentional added exercise with the added calories, I'm putting on more mass, okay? I'm filling my muscles out with the glycogen. I'm increasing lean mass in a short period of time, and as we all know, increasing your lean mass equals a higher metabolic rate to sustain it. And now from that point, basically every single pound that I've been gaining since then, and I'm now up about 10.5 to 11 pounds since starting, every single pound that you're increasing in body weight, your body has to expend more energy to sustain a larger person. And so that's one of the biggest reasons next to the reverse diet, okay? So those are two reasons. Now, another thing you gotta understand is these days that I'm able to eat so many calories, I am typically doing 300-ish calories of cardio at the end of my workouts. I eat those calories back. In fact, I do that cardio to improve recovery, to boost my metabolism, and to eat them back so I can eat more food and still see a favorable result. And so that's something else that you have full control over. I do 300 calories of cardio, so let's say my base is about 3,600 calories. Some days I may do 300, maybe even 400 calories of cardio. And now if you combine that with a grueling leg day, that's an insane amount more calories burned on that day than, let's say, a typical day. And so that boosts my metabolism big time. Now, another thing that I do personally, I recently switched to a full-time online business that I run. And because of this, of course, I am sitting around the house all day long. And by the way, speaking of the house, this may be the second last or the last video you see in this house before I move out, so I'm pumped about that. But anyways, guys, I'm very sedentary throughout the house, throughout the day. So what do I do to boost activity, boost metabolism, keep my body moving? I go for walks. That's right, just simple walks around the neighborhood. They average between 15 to 45 minute walks, okay? And I do these mainly for activity, and I go on 1 to 2 of them a day, usually one in the middle of the day around 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. and then the next one is going to be later on at around 5, 6, even sometimes later than that. And these walks, okay, that I track with my fitness tracker, allows me to see how many more calories I'm burning per day. And so typically on each walk I can burn anywhere from 100 to even 150 calories. That would be an extra 300 calories on top for the day. So cardio, 300 calories, plus 2 walks, 300, that's 600 more calories than my baseline, which right now is about 3,600 calories. So if you did the math as quick as hopefully you should be able to, you realize that that's up close to about 4,200 calories. And again, if we mix in a gruesome leg day or an intense back day on top of that, those weights, that recovery from the weights, that energy expended throughout it, equals even more calories. So it brings my baseline, which isn't too ridiculous, of about 34, 35, 3,600 calories, and it boosts it all the way to 41, 42, or even more than 4,200 calories in that day. And so if I only eat 4,000 calories back, I'm actually in a deficit. Now obviously I'm not achieving this deficit multiple times throughout the week. It may happen on the off time that I don't hit the calories or I miscalculate, because obviously there's a lot of discrepancies within it, but obviously I ensure that I'm staying in a surplus from a week to week basis, and hence the reason I've been able to gain at a consistent rate so far. So that is what I've been doing. It is that simple. Also, one last thing, and it is true, my genetics. I genetically have always had a faster metabolism. I always have been a skinny kid when I was younger, although now I realize that it's easy for me to gain weight too fast if I'm not careful, so obviously I monitor everything. However, it's important to note that there's just some people out there that will never be able to lose weight after eating 4,000 calories, assuming that they are a healthy individual, simply because of their genetics. Now, on that topic, let's segue into part 2 of the video, which is exactly how anybody out there, you watching, can manipulate your metabolism quite a bit from where it is now, and how genetics actually still has a pretty negligible effect on your overall metabolism. Now, I've worked with probably 1,000 people over the last few years, and I think it's safe to say that people who blame their metabolism or say, my metabolism is too slow and that's why I can't lose weight, or my metabolism is too fast and that's why I can't gain weight, etc., all the bullshit excuses. Here is the number one reason why those people say that and don't actually see their results, and that's going to be because they actually have no idea what their metabolism is. In other words, they don't know how many calories they're burning on a day-to-day basis. They don't know how many calories they're consuming on a day-to-day basis because they don't track either or. Okay, that's just the reality. 99% of people do not track anything, and so they just come to these conclusions, because what else are you gonna say, right? What are you gonna say? I'm an idiot who hasn't been tracking anything, so I don't know what to do and it's entirely my fault that I'm not seeing any results? No, nobody's gonna admit to the truth like that, right? Although they should. So that's gonna be the main reason. So if you're not tracking how many calories you're burning day to day, and against how many you're intaking, number one, you have no idea what's going on. And also, if you're not tracking your weight, is your body weight fluctuating? People think that they're not losing weight, and maybe they are at a rate of 1 pound average per week, but you're not gonna be able to see it unless you're tracking it on the scale. The next reason has to do with the walks. A lot of people, they are extremely sedentary carry throughout the day. You see, metabolism actually slows down as you age, not because you're just aging. The metabolism slowing by age alone is actually a very negligible and very preventable thing. But the issue is people sit around all day, they don't work out, and so it's not just that they're aging and all of a sudden their metabolism is like, oh, you're a year older, I'm gonna slow down. No, but instead you're losing muscle because you're going so long without keeping it or without building it, and hence your metabolism starts to drop over the years. Next thing you know, you could have had 25, 30 pounds more muscle on your frame as a man or woman by the time you're age 50, and sustaining that, being active, have better cardio, a more efficient cardiovascular system, etc., etc. But you've been stuck sitting on the couch all day long, and so you find yourself here with a too slow of a metabolism. And of course, genetics is still a factor to a degree, but again, I do want to reiterate that it is such a small factor when it comes to metabolism specifically. Look, I'm not gonna bullshit you. When it comes to bodybuilding, if you want to look a certain way, some of the women out there, you want a perfect shaped butt or whatever the case is, like that person you saw on Instagram, the truth of the matter is genetics plays a massive role in how your body's going to look. But when it comes to metabolism, you have much more control over how fast and how slow your metabolism is. And so I suggest you take the steps of tracking and knowing exactly what you're burning, knowing how much you're eating, weighing yourself to see exactly, roughly where you should be at, and then take steps to increase or decrease the metabolism depending on where you find yourself. Now, keep in mind, if your metabolism is too high, which it likely isn't, because people who think it is typically don't eat as much as they think. So again, it goes back to tracking. But for those people, I still think that it's good to have a high metabolism. You just got to get used to keeping your appetite high, okay? You got to fill in the calories with some more high calorie dense foods instead of so many nutrient dense foods, and that's just the nature of the beast. That's just the way it is. Hey, I think it's a better problem to have a too high metabolism than one that's too slow, because if you've got one that's too slow, you've got much less room, much less flexibility to actually enjoy the foods you love without gaining weight very quickly. And so regardless, you got to do whatever it takes to boost your metabolism, or at least sustain it to where it's at, or conquer it and go over it. Look, I've eaten 6,000 calories a day in the past because I had to, and I've also eaten under 2,000 calories in order to get down to a weight that I need to, okay? So I've been on both ends of the spectrum, and if I can do it, you can do it too. You just got to take the steps necessary to be aware first of where you stand, and then from there manipulate accordingly. You want to boost your metabolism, you can do that. You want to keep it where it's at, or you want to conquer it, you can do that too. And I hope that I provided some insight as to how you can do that, because it's much more simple than people think it is, and it's also much more controllable than people think it is. And so with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bit of a long video, but I hope that you learned something and took something away from it, and that is specifically how I have been able to burn 4,000 calories in a day or more, and even lose weight when consuming that much. And again, I am not special. You can do the same, or you can get at least a lot closer to it than you think, and I hope that you do. I want you to hit me up on Instagram if you have any questions, or just comment them below. Anything else you'd like to see, these style of videos as well, let me know. And if you want the merch, also let me know. So you got quite a bit of homework right there. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, share. Subscribe so you don't miss my videos, because I'm dropping them every week. And if you miss out, well, I guess that just means less gains for you. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'm out.